It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. All right, what do y'all got for me?
Today was pretty physical when we were here earlier. When you map out the practices during the spring, is there a limit to how often you want to be physical? Do you want to do it more toward the end of spring when you get ready for the spring game?
Well, the only time we don't want to be physical is when we're just in helmets. Anytime we have shoulder pads on, we're going to be physical in everything we do. You know, that doesn't mean we're always taking people to the ground, but we're going to be physical. I mean, you can't play this game without being physical.
But how, to try to break it down, like, is there a point where you don't want to go past that because?
Yeah, well, we only go live, you know, really 3 times during the spring. You know, for the spring game and 2 other scrimmages, the only time that we really go live. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be physical in your practices. I mean, anytime you're competing and going against the offense or the defense, I mean, you still have to be physical in what you do. It may not be full speed live, and you may not be taking a guy to the ground, but you're still going to be physical.
Have any players stood out to you, kind of made a statement this spring?
You know, it's still early. I mean, we've got a bunch of guys that are playing hard. We got a bunch of guys. I'm impressed with all 8 of those young guys that have come in and how quickly they pick things up, and they're eager to be good football players.
You've got so many veterans, both skill guys and obviously Mitch has been around in the system for many years. How much are you really trying to teach, and how much is it just refining, and what's kind of the balance between those 2 things?
Well, I mean, we're still teaching every day. I mean, install's pretty much in. You know, but we're still teaching. We're refining everything that we do. And then, you know, for guys that have more experience than the guys that understand what we're trying to do, then you're pushing them to another level. You know, you're trying to take a guy like Mitch, and you're trying to make him perfect with every throw that he makes, as far as, you know, where he's putting the ball on a man and all those things. So each guy is at a certain level, and you're trying to raise their level. Whether it's that guy that just got out of high school and he's got to get to a certain level, or it's, you know, a guy that's got, you know, Mac or Bug Howard or Des Lawrence, who've had a lot of reps. Those are guys that still have to take it to another level.
Elijah Hood, I understand he's hurt and he's in that orange jersey, but he looks like he's running around pretty good. I mean, he's not being slowed down, other than, I guess, contact out here.
I promise you that Elijah's working as hard as anybody else out on that field. You don't ever have to worry about that with him. Right. I assure you.
I know that you are never satisfied, but do you like what you've seen with the linebacker group and the progress?
Yeah, I think we got a bunch of guys that are fighting their butt off, and they're competing. We still got a ways to go, you know. I mean, I don't know that we're going to have the leadership from that group that we did last year because of the 2 guys that we had there. But we got some really athletic guys that can run, and it's been really interesting to watch them compete on a daily basis for those spots. So I think we've got some great competition there.
Last time we talked to you, you highlighted Jonathan Smith. Has he continued that track?
He has. He has. Again, I pick out all those young guys. I mean, I'm impressed with what they've done in a short period of time.
What do you like best about the way Mitch has handled spring now that you're several weeks in?
He's competing. I mean, he's competing. He's trying to win a starting job. You know, you guys are the only ones that have anointed him. I mean, and so he's competing on a daily basis, trying to win that job.
You've talked so much about each team having its own identity. I know a lot of coaches talk about that. How soon or how much time do you take before you start to figure out what this team or any other team's identity is? It like 2 weeks into spring? Is it fall?
No, it'll be in the fall camp. And I mean, you know, the chemistry of this team and the bond that these guys are going to build. I mean, that's happening all spring, but that's still going to go through the summer and through fall camp. And I mean, you gotta have some adversity to figure out who you are, you know. And so, I mean, all that's still coming. You know, it's still coming. So then we'll figure out the identity of this football team.
As coaches, can you figure that out at all in spring, or can you sense that at all?
We try to make them as uncomfortable as possible, you know, and hopefully they'll become comfortable being uncomfortable, you know. And if they do that, then we got a good chance.
Looks like you've got a couple right now.
You know, I'd say that Mitch has stepped up quite a bit. You know, you still got, actually TJ has stepped up and done some good things. Peterson, our left guard, he's really stepped up and probably come farther than anybody in that role, I would say.
Looks like you got a couple of offensive linemen back since the last time this group was out here. John Heck is back, and you got Will Dancy, I think, is able to practice now. How's that been?
That's been good. I mean, because we finally have some depth over there, you know, and so all of those guys are competing hard. And pretty much every one of them over there understands, because they were all with us last year, and so we've got a little bit of experience on that side of the ball over there in the offensive line. So that group's probably, they feel pretty comfortable right now.
It's a long way to Atlanta in September 3rd.
It's 149 days.
So you know exactly, y'all got a countdown clock somewhere or something? It just
got one in my head.
Having an opener like that is just how much does that help, or how much is it a focus? Now during the summer.
It's not really a focus now. I mean, our focus is on our team right now and how do we get better on a daily basis. So, we really won't focus on them until a certain point in camp. Because there's not a whole lot we'll be able to do as a coaching staff. Because it's a brand new staff. We play 7 teams next year. They tell me they have new coaching staffs. So that puts you at a little bit of disadvantage when you go into the summer for us. So I have to find something else for us to do.
Speaking of coaching staffs, how's Chad Scott been?
Oh, he's been awesome. Yeah, he's been really good. He fits in great. He's got a tremendous work ethic. The guy's in the weight room at 4 a.m. every morning, gets his workout in, and then he's ready to roll from that point. So it's been a really nice addition and a very smooth transition for us.
You mentioned that the only people who would have missed the start would be us.
Right.
Obviously, it seems like it would be the obvious next step. Why do you treat it the way you do in terms of treating it as a battle?
Yeah, because I want every guy on our football team to feel like they earned what they got. Nobody gave them anything. I don't want to give anybody anything. And so I want him to come out and earn the job, Plus, because when you do that, that also earns the respect of your teammates, and that's really important. More important than him feeling like he's earned it, it's more important that everybody around feels like he's earned it. And every guy on our football team should feel that way.
Larry, who's some guys at defensive end that have stood out to you this spring?
At defensive end, we've moved a bunch of guys, but Mikey Bart's having a great spring. He's really excelled. He's refined himself as a pass rusher. He's gotten better. He's stronger. He's more physical. Just all the way around, he's really come on.
You started to say you moved some guys. Who have you moved?
Well, we haven't moved on. No,
Okay.
I meant we've had guys moving in and
I
out
see.
of position, but he's the guy that has stood out.
I think we saw you in the locker room in Houston the other night after the basketball game. Did you say anything? What was your reaction?
No, there was nothing for me to say. That was a gut-wrenching last end of a season. And it's there's really nothing you can say that's going to make those kids feel any better at that time. And, so I was just there, and I wanted them to know I support them. I wasn't just coming in that locker room when we won. So I wanted them to know that I was there even afterwards, and really there to support Coach Williams.
Very good.